All right, back at you guys with another video. Today we're going to be forestry mulching around that lake with the excavator, and this is going to be a multi-day, multi-video project, guys. This is a rather large project for me, but today this video is all about getting those hard to reach areas with the excavator. Next video tomorrow, I'll be out with the skid steer and we'll get some stuff done. But let's get this thing unloaded. Let me tell you a little bit about this job first. So if you've been following along for a while and you've been watching my forestry mulching videos, you've probably gathered by now that a lot of my jobs I do by a day rate when it comes to forestry mulching. And the reason I do that is I've had a horrible success rate of landing bids when forestry mulching, or bidding forestry mulching jobs is what I mean. Now guys, I don't forestry mulch full time. This is just one of the services I offer. I primarily do grading and things like that, so forestry mulching is probably 25% of the work that I do. So what I'm getting at is every time I go out and bid a forestry mulching job, I tend to overbid it and I never get hired for it. And I just feel like maybe I'm overbidding it because I want to make sure I have plenty of time to make sure I leave behind a good product. I don't want to underbid something and then be out there and be mad and be way behind and then leave a lot sooner and leave behind a poor product. So I've had a really bad history of not getting my bids when it comes to forestry mulching. However, the way I've been getting forestry mulching work is whenever I give my bid and the customer's like, "Oh my God, Ron, that's just too much money," I circle back and say, well, you know what we can do is I can come out for my day rate and I can work for a day and we can see what we can get done and we can go from there. And guys, that works great for me. I've landed so many jobs using that tactic, and I almost always end up staying longer, multiple days, and it's usually very close to my original bid. So that is that. And the reason I'm telling you this is this job here, I actually bid and I got it. And this, I bid at, get the strong magnet off here, I bid this at 3.5 days. So I have 3.5 days to get this done. So my goal today, I'm going to spend one day with the excavator getting down all those hard to reach areas, and then I'm going to try to come through here with the skid steer and get as much done as I can, because that's the get stuff done machine. But anyway, so that is that. We'll get that machine unloaded here in a minute. This job here may look familiar to you guys. Back out here again. We finished this one up about a year, it wasn't a year ago, it was last year. I say we because Fred was a big part of this when he worked for me. If you guys, let me circle back just a minute. If you're new here, guys, I'm solo now. I wasn't once solo. My father-in-law Fred worked for me, which was great. There's a whole story behind it. I'll get into that some other time. But when I'm saying we, it was me and Fred, because Fred did great work out here. Me and him we was a really good team. Anyhow, so we leveled this spot for the building. We graveled inside it, outside of it, buried the downspout drains, trenched the electrical, put in a French drain, prepped for the concrete. We didn't do the flat work. Did all the gravel work around here, built the driveway, brush hogged. I think this was 18 acres. So we've done a lot of work out here. That's what I'm getting at. And this driveway is holding up great. It looks exactly the way when I left it. I'm very happy with this. But you may be wondering why I'm parked all funny. Now guys, I have this theory. This is the way I operate. Whenever I come out to a job, I want there to be no sign that I was there other than the work that I do. My theory is tread lightly. So the reason I'm turned like this, the ground's a little soft right now, so I didn't want to pull off into the grass with my truck, but I don't want to unload on the driveway because this is how ate up I am. I don't want to put my track marks in the driveway because this looks really good. And by the time I unload and it's spin, I'm going to mess it up. So I'm going to unload on the grass. That's the whole point in that. So I'm going to get to it. And my flatbed 450 transmission's acting up in it. That's why I got my take mom out of town truck with me today. So the old Ford's in the shop getting the transmission looked at. Hopefully I get some good news on that. But let's get to it. So here's what I'm working with. I'm going to use the excavator to get this bank here. It's right on the cusp of being too steep for the skid steer. It could work, it couldn't work. So I'm just not going to risk it. I don't want to get on there and twist and turn and mess everything up with the skid steer, because I don't think I can side hill it. I think I'm going to slide down. I would have to go back and forth. So to keep with my theme of treading lightly, I'm not going to tear up the bank. I'm going to use the excavator. But everything else I can get with the skid steer. I can get all the way around with the skid steer, and it'll be way quicker. So that is that. But wait, there's more. You guys are going to be seeing all this. This will be at least a 3 video series, I'm thinking. Maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to forestry mulch all that. And then there's even more on the other side of that marshy area. And this customer, there is something going on with this lake. They're losing water because that is like a freaking bog down there. And they asked me to give a bid to try to fix it, and I declined. I've learned in business to stay in your lane, and repairing lakes is not my lane. So I'll clean it up, but I can't fix it. But let's get to it. Well, I messed up, guys. I was jamming out to some good old country music, mulching along, didn't realize how fast I was moving. I got a lot done, so I didn't record a lot of this, but here's where I'm at now. I know right now, guys, it looks like a bomb went off. There is a method to my madness here. What I like to do is I like to come through, do an initial mulching. And what I mean by that is just mulch from the top down, get everything on the ground, and then I'll come through and clean up in the end. And I do that for 2 reasons. One, I'm running knives on this mulcher, so if I mulch everything up high and stay out of the dirt and rocks as long as possible, it just keeps my knives sharper longer, if that makes sense. And also, if I come through, do an initial clearing, it makes it a lot easier for me to swing around and move and clean up and stuff like that. So that's why I do what I do here. And that big tree right there in front of us, the customer wanted to keep that, so I'm going to clean up around it here in a minute. And also on the back side of this dam, I'm not going to be touching none of that. We're just here to work on the front side. So that's where I'm at. Welcome aboard the old excavator. Let's get over here. But earlier when we was up top, guys, I talked a little bit about Fred and stuff like that, and it made me realize that there are a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new of you guys watching my videos here, which I really appreciate. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. But it made me realize that maybe some of you guys haven't heard my story, so I thought I would just kind of breeze over it as fast as I can. There's a lot to talk about, but I'll just kind of breeze over it, tell you a little about myself and my company and the evolution of this company and how I ended up ultimately where I'm at. Because I know earlier I touched on having my father-in-law Fred with me, and if you've been watching recently, it's been just me, so you'll understand here in a minute once I go through this. So guys, my name is Ron. I am retired military. I did 20 years in the Missouri Air National Guard. If you're not familiar with the way the military works, so the Missouri Air National Guard is basically a component of the Air Force. So you got active duty Air Force, you got the Air Force Reserves, which is it's a federal entity, and then the Missouri Air National Guard is state. So it's a state-run militia, basically, is what it is. So I did 20 years with the Missouri Air National Guard. Within that 20 years, 10 years of it was full-time. I worked on the B-2 bomber, F-15s, and I did, guys, I'm not going to go deep into this, but it was electronic nerd stuff. I worked on radios, radar, electronic warfare, really nerd, boring stuff you guys probably aren't interested in, but that's what I did in the military. It had nothing to do with running equipment or anything like this. So this is like my midlife crisis, guys. I love it. This is something I've always wanted to do when I was a kid. I wish I would have done this a long time ago when I was like 20 years old, because I'd be so much farther ahead. Turn that camera down a little bit. So that's my military career. Joined in 2003, retired in 2023. I was full-time from 2006 till 2016. So from 2016 till 2023, I was a weekender, which meant I was going in once a month on the weekends and 2 weeks a year. And during that time, I also worked for the Federal Aviation Administration. For them, same type of nerd stuff, except with air traffic control towers and everything electronic, radios, instrument landing systems, stuff like that with airports is what I maintained. And I did that all the way up to a year ago, and we'll get into that here in a minute. So that is kind of my history, my pre-excavation history. My old lady's texted me. Let's see what that is here in a minute. So my company, guys, I started this in 2021. I'm gonna make this as brief as possible. Started with a dream, didn't even know it was gonna turn into this. I just had a farm tractor at my house, something I used to grade my own driveway, brush hog my own land. We've always had land of some sort, so I've always had a tractor and did maintenance and stuff like that. So one day I'm like, you know what, I wonder if I can get some jobs and do this on the side on the weekend. So long story short, I started my company with a farm tractor, doing it on the side, evolved into a skid steer, then eventually an excavator. Long story, evolved into what I'm doing now, but the whole time I was doing that was part-time. My father-in-law was my first employee. I hired him 2 years ago. He recently left me. We'll get into that here in a minute. So I was now, once I hired Fred, I was operating my company while still working my federal job, working all through the weekends, all hours after work, putting in 40, 50, 60 hours with my company, putting in 40 hours a week with the federal government. Did that for 3.5 years. Finally got to the point where I'm like, you know what, it's time for me to go all in on this excavation thing. And that was May 5th of last year. So I've been doing this for a little under a year full time. So that's a quick story on me and kind of how I got to where I'm at. That's just a brief overview. Guys, I love what I'm doing. I have this mini excavator, the 60P. I have a 335P skid steer, and just about every implement you could ever imagine. One thing I do want to touch on, guys, we worked for absolutely free for the first 3.5, almost 4 years. We put every dollar back into our company, and that's how we got all this going. That's why we have all this nice equipment. We started with nothing. Worked for absolutely free. I didn't take my first paycheck until May when I quit my job. So that, I just want to give you guys some real expectations here. A lot of sacrifice that goes in. If you want it, you better want it, and you better be willing to work for it. But the payoff is worth it. But so let's try to get back to where I was. So now I'm working full time with Fred. Things are going great. I got Fred working with me. I got multiple machines. I got, you know, 2 sets. I had 2 excavators, 2 skid steers to keep me and Fred busy. Things were going great, guys. Fred was amazing. Me downsizing, going down to solo had nothing to do with him. It had to do with the way my company was structured and the lifestyle I was living, and I didn't realize that until I started doing it full time. Basically what happened, guys, was I learned that if you're doing this kind of work with mini excavators and skid steers and stuff like that, you almost need to stay solo. This is a very hard business to scale, and I learned that firsthand in the real world. I experienced it. I actually had my brother-in-law working for me at one point, and I had a dump truck driver, and my brother-in-law didn't stay with me for very long, and then my dump truck driver, I ended up letting him go for some reasons that I don't want to get into right now, but he didn't stay with me long either. But Fred is the only employee I had that really I would count for anything that was good for my company, I guess. Stuck around long enough. So full-time now, working with Fred, 4 machines, 2 F450s, a dump truck. We're doing 1Z, 2Z, 3-day jobs, little site prep jobs, forestry mulching, driveway grading, stuff like that, guys. you'll see, if you follow along on my channel, you'll see the kind of work I'm doing. Long story short, it wasn't worth it, guys. I was working my butt off, working 40, 50 hours a week running machines with Fred, and then spending all my hours after work going out and bidding jobs, dealing with customers, all that kind of thing, just to keep enough work for Fred and I. So I had a long talk with Fred here recently. I said, Fred, this just isn't working. I was like, I am running ragged. My family's suffering. I'm not present at home. It just wasn't the lifestyle I wanted to live. So me and Fred, he went to work for another company, parted ways on great terms, and now I am solo, working by myself. Got rid of all the equipment except for the 2 machines here, the 335 and the 60, and things are going great. And that's where I'm at right now. So if you guys have any questions, ask me. I'm an open book. Everything I learned through the School of Hard Knocks, through trial and error. It's been quite the road. I've definitely paid for an education a lot. So that is the story of me, and I love life. I love what I'm doing. I love YouTube. I love you guys watching. I've learned more from the comment sections on here than probably I've talked about. It's a great community, and I appreciate you guys being here. Let's take this big boy out here. So, that being said, guys, now I'm solo. That doesn't mean things are easy. It's not. I still have stress of staying on schedule and tracking my leads and trying to make sure everybody's taken care of, because there's only so much I can do, and we've built a pretty good brand where we're in pretty good demand out here. Like right now, it's what is it? It's the beginning of April right now, and I'm booked out well into September right now doing these little jobs, onesie, twosie, 3-day jobs. So you can imagine, to see my workflow list, I have a lot of customers, a lot of people waiting on me, and it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to keep up with all the leads, because we get leads from everywhere, from Facebook, Google, our website. I mean, any way you can think of getting leads, we're getting them, guys. You got to work all angles. And the thing that's really helped me, guys, I've always been open and honest with you guys, so I'm about to tell you something here, a little change for me and my family. It's been a great addition to our company, and something that I can offer to you guys, and that is Jobber. Jobber actually reached out to me about 2 months ago. They found this YouTube channel here and asked if I would like to be an ambassador and try out their software and just do the ambassador thing. But where I'm going with that, guys, like Jobber, they reached out to me and said, hey, we love what you're doing. We would love for you to rep our brand and our software. If you're not familiar with Jobber, guys, it's a software for contractors. I'm not going to get too deep into the specifics of what it is today, because there's a lot that goes into it. But what they did, they reached out to me and said, Ron, we would love for you to rep our brand. And I said, you know what, I would love to do that. However, I've never used it, and I don't want to represent something that I wouldn't use myself. So guys, I've been using Jobber for the past 2 months, and it has been life-changing. I love it. It just makes life so much better. We're gonna go down a quick rabbit hole, that way you understand my background with Jobber. So when I started this company, guys, I looked into Jobber and I watched all the YouTube videos. I loved it. I loved everything it had to offer, but I was super overwhelmed, and I was busy starting a company and learning bidding and that kind of thing, so I didn't pursue it at all. About a year ago, Jobber reached out to me and asked if I would like to try it, so I did a 14-day trial with them, and this is me being open and honest with you guys. I took the 14-day trial, I logged in, and I was overwhelmed, guys. It was a lot to take in, because there is so much that Jobber has to offer. there's a lot. So I logged in and I did nothing with it. I'm just being honest with you guys. I wish I would have done something with it back then, because I would have been even farther ahead today. So back to current day, guys. Jobber reached out and said, hey, are you interested in partnering with us? And I said I would love to, but I want to try out your product. So guys, me and my wife, we've been using Jobber exclusively for our estimating and CRM and stuff like that for the past 2 months, and I love it. We should have done it when we started this business 5 years ago, because as an owner operator, there is so much that we have to keep track of. And for me, right off the bat, one of the best benefits has been the lead tracking. Like, everything goes through Jobber now. Everything, all of our leads come through Jobber, all the way down to Facebook. Like, if you go to my Facebook right now and you click on Contact Us, it's gonna you're gonna fill out a contact form that goes through Jobber and comes through the Jobber software to me. And that's the same with our website. Everything comes through Jobber now. So it's one central point where I will literally be running my machine and I'll get a notification that we got a bid request, and it comes right through Jobber, pops up on my phone. I'm not checking a million different lead sources constantly throughout the day, because you know how it is with these leads, guys. You have to get on them fast. Like, you can't get an email or something, somebody wanting to bid, and you get to it 2 weeks later, that job's going to be gone. You have to get on it fast, and Jobber has definitely helped me with that. That has been my favorite thing with Jobber. But one thing I will tell you guys, I'm going to give you an offer in the end. You're going to be able to use a code that in my description that'll get you a free 14-day trial. Do not do the 14-day trial if you're not ready to be committed to it. Don't do what I did. Don't take the 14-day trial and get overwhelmed. And what I mean by that, guys, Jobber is very customer oriented. They want you to succeed. They have coaches, and me and my wife take them up on that. Like, you will get your own coach, the same person you call every time, that will teach you the software, and they get to know you, they get to know your company, and they will help you leverage Jobber in a way that will best benefit your company. So, to give you just a quick real world of what that looked like for us, because we are a Jobber customer. We use Jobber just like everybody else. When we first got Jobber, we took the coaching call, and it was actually a lady named Natalie. She's super awesome. She's like our person now. She met with us at 5 in the morning, because we're super busy, on a Zoom call to go over Jobber with us. And she basically will hold your hand and get to know you and teach you and set your Jobber account up to best utilize. You can best utilize it for your company. So what I'm getting at, guys, if you've been following me long enough, you know that I'm very customer service centered. Like, that's my priority. Jobber very much aligns with that. Like, I feel like I have a relationship with those guys already. They're great. But the main thing to take away from today, guys, if you're interested in Jobber, click that link below, go check it out, get you a 14-day trial, but don't click that link if you're not ready to learn. And I highly suggest that you take them up and have a coach or a mentor that's going to help you, because you want to get the best benefit you can out of that. And why would you want to sit there for hours trying to figure something out on your own when somebody could just show it to you? Because we are focused on running machines and taking care of our customers, and that software is a tool to help us provide a better service for our customers. So I highly recommend it. So down below, I'll pin a comment, guys, that'll take you to a link for a free trial. Click that. I'll also put one in the description. That would be great. If you click on that link, you're supporting the channel, you're supporting me and my family. I greatly appreciate it. You have nothing to lose. Go check it out. get a mentor, get a coach, and let me know what you think. But I am making some progress on this, holy cow. I am almost to the point where I am done with this excavator. I'm gonna go back and clean up here in a minute. So this is coming along really quick. What my plan is to come back tomorrow and I'm gonna mulch up as much as I can with the skid steer because it's way more efficient. And then whatever I cannot get to, I'm gonna finish up with the excavator here, and then I'm gonna throw the bucket on. I'm gonna reach down and pull that stuff up, throw it up on the bank and mulch it up here with the skid steer. So that is the most efficient thing I can do. And I'm gonna clean all this up. But let's track over there. Let's see if there's anything else we can get done today with this excavator. I think this stuff over here is definitely accessible with the skid steer, which is the preferred tool of choice for speed. Look at what I got done. Quite a bit. So I'm done with that for now. That's what I'm getting at. All of this here, I can definitely, yeah, I can get all this with my skid steer. Look at this. And I can walk right through this. I mean, it'll be half the time or a quarter of the time with that skid steer. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time on this. Look at that. That's not steep at all. Yeah, I can get down there to that. Okay. Well, I think that's might be it for me for the day. Let me show you guys this over here. Give you a little sneak peek of what we're gonna be doing in the next, well, it'll probably be 2 videos from now, but let's go check this out. So all of this area I have to mulch as well. This is the other side of that little marshy bog area you see with the cattails. So I put a day on this and the other side, so I need to get this done in 8 hours. You'll see plenty of this. I'll make a video on this specifically, so we'll see how this goes. I feel really good about it. I think I can get it done in 8 hours. But as far as the lake, I think I am looking really good. I think I'm done with the excavator for now. So tomorrow, I'll be back with the skid steer. I'm gonna bring the mulcher and the brush hog. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through with the mulcher, get all the big stuff, the trees, things like that, get it all mulched up, things like that, and then I'll throw the brush hog on and do all the grassy areas. That's just the most efficient way to do things. And then in the very end, before I take the excavator out of here, there was just something in the weeds over here. Huh, interesting. Something jumping out at me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw the bucket on the excavator in the very end, go around and grab all that stuff that's down by the water, throw it up on the bank, and then mulch it up with the skid steer, and I'll do that all the way around. So that is the plan. But that is it for me today. I'm gonna go home, load up the skid steer, that way I can get out here super early tomorrow, put in a 12, 14-hour day, make some good progress, because I have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time. So guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. If you got anything out of it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit me with some comments, guys. If you have any questions about anything, equipment, running a business, it doesn't matter, just I'll answer your questions. Hit me with them down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.